How to transform your existing garden into an eco-friendly paradise. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you love gardening but also care about the environment, you're in exactly the right place. Because today, we're not talking about expensive makeovers or completely redesigning your space. We're focusing on something much more practical, real changes you can make in your existing garden, starting right now. A lot of people think creating an eco-friendly garden means buying all new tools, installing complex systems, or spending a lot of money. But the truth is, sustainability is really about making smarter choices with what you already have. Whether you've got a small backyard, a few planters, or even just a little patch of green, there are simple ways to reduce waste, save water, and support the natural ecosystem around you. This guide is made for real people with real gardens, busy schedules, limited budgets, and no time for complicated setups. Just easy, practical steps that fit into your everyday routine. And the best part, these small changes don't just help the planet, they actually make your garden healthier, more resilient, and more beautiful over time. So if you're ready to create a garden that works with nature instead of against it, let's get started. Number 1, start with what you have. The most eco-friendly thing you can do is simply use what you already have. Before you go out and buy new pots, tools, or decorations, take a moment to really look around your garden. You might be surprised at what you can reuse. Old containers, wooden boxes, unused baskets, even broken buckets can all be transformed into unique and functional planters. Not only does this save money, but it also reduces waste and gives your garden a more creative, personal touch. You don't need everything to match perfectly. In fact, those little imperfections can make your space feel more natural and lived in. A chipped pot or a weathered crate can actually add character to your garden. Now let's talk about something most people throw away every single day: kitchen scraps. Instead of tossing fruit peels, vegetable leftovers, coffee grounds, or even dry leaves into the trash, you can turn them into something incredibly valuable: compost. Composting is one of the easiest ways to create nutrient-rich soil that your plants will absolutely love. And the best part, it reduces household waste while improving your garden at the same time. You don't need a fancy setup to start. Even a simple compost bin or a small corner in your yard can work. Over time, those scraps break down into rich, dark soil that feeds your plants naturally, no chemicals needed. So before buying anything new, remember, your garden already has everything it needs to become more eco-friendly. You just have to use it wisely. Number 2, build healthy soil. Healthy soil is the foundation of an eco-friendly garden. When your soil is truly alive, full of microorganisms, nutrients, and organic matter, everything in your garden starts to work better. Your plants grow stronger, they need less water, and you won't have to rely as much on fertilizers or pesticides. It's like building a natural support system right beneath your plants. Think of your soil as a living ecosystem, not just dirt. The healthier it is, the easier your gardening becomes. One of the simplest ways to improve your soil is by adding compost regularly. Compost feeds the soil, which in turn feeds your plants. Over time, this creates a rich, fertile environment where plants can thrive naturally. It's also important to avoid digging too much. While it might seem helpful, excessive digging can actually disturb the natural structure of the soil and harm beneficial organisms living in it. Another powerful technique is mulching. By adding a layer of mulch, like wood chips, straw, or dried leaves, on top of your soil, you protect it from drying out. Mulch helps lock in moisture, reduces the growth of weeds, and slowly breaks down to add even more nutrients back into the soil. So by focusing on your soil first, you're setting your entire garden up for long-term success, naturally and sustainably. Number 3, save water smartly. Water is one of the most important resources in your garden, so it's worth learning how to use it wisely. A lot of people don't realize that when you water your plants can make a huge difference. Watering early in the morning or later in the evening helps reduce evaporation, especially on warmer days. That means more water actually reaches the roots where your plants need it most, instead of being lost to the air. It's a simple change, but over time it can save a surprising amount of water and keep your plants healthier. Another great step is installing a rain barrel. Instead of letting rainwater go to waste, you can collect it and reuse it in your garden. It's completely natural, free, and often better for plants than treated tap water. Even a small setup can make a big impact. You can also make your watering routine more efficient by grouping plants with similar water needs together. This way, you're not overwatering some plants while underwatering others. It keeps things balanced and saves both water and time. At the end of the day, eco-friendly gardening isn't about using less, it's about using resources smarter. And when it comes to water, a few thoughtful changes can go a long way. Number 4, choose native and pollinator-friendly plants. One of the easiest and most effective ways to make your garden eco-friendly is simply by choosing the right plants. Not all plants are created equal when it comes to sustainability. Native plants, those that naturally grow in your local area, are already adapted to your climate, soil, and seasonal changes. That means they don't need as much water, they require less maintenance, and they're much more resistant to local pests and diseases. So instead of constantly trying to support plants that struggle to survive, you're working with nature instead of against it. But the benefits don't stop there. Native plants also play a huge role in supporting local wildlife. They attract pollinators like bees, butterflies, and other beneficial insects that are essential for a healthy garden ecosystem. Without these pollinators, many plants wouldn't be able to grow, reproduce, or thrive. By simply adding the right plants, you're helping rebuild a natural balance in your garden. A great place to start is by introducing wildflowers or flowering herbs. Not only do they add beautiful color and variety, but they also create a welcoming environment for pollinators to visit and stay. Over time, you'll notice your garden becoming more vibrant, more active, and much more alive, all with less effort on your part. Number 5, ditch chemicals. Chemical fertilizers and pesticides might seem like a quick and easy solution, but over time, they can do more harm than good. They don't just target pests, they can damage the health of your soil, contaminate water, and harm beneficial insects and wildlife that your garden actually depends on. So while they may offer short-term results, they often create bigger problems in the long run. A better approach is to go natural. Instead of relying on synthetic products, you can use compost or organic fertilizers to feed your plants in a healthier, more sustainable way. These options improve your soil over time rather than depleting it. For pest control, simple homemade solutions like neem oil sprays can be very effective without harming the environment. They help manage pests while keeping your garden safe for beneficial insects. And speaking of beneficial insects, this is where nature really shines. You can invite helpful creatures like ladybugs into your garden. They naturally feed on pests like aphids, keeping populations under control without damaging your plants. When you step back and let nature do its job, your garden becomes more balanced and self-sustaining. In the end, a healthy garden doesn't rely on chemicals. It works in harmony with the environment. Number 6 is support wildlife. An eco-friendly garden isn't just a space for plants, it's a space for life. When you start to see your garden as a small ecosystem, everything begins to change. It's no longer just about how it looks, but about how it functions and who it supports. One simple way to encourage more life into your garden is by adding a small water source, like a bird bath. Even a shallow dish of water can make a big difference, giving birds and insects a place to drink and cool off. You can also install something like a bee hotel, or even leave a small corner of your garden a little wild and untouched. That natural space can become a safe shelter for insects and small creatures that are essential to your garden's health. Because the truth is, birds, insects, and even the smallest animals all play important roles. They help control pests, pollinate plants, and keep everything in balance. The more biodiversity you create, the stronger and healthier your garden becomes over time. Instead of fighting nature, you're working with it, and that's what makes a garden truly sustainable. Number 7, reduce your lawn. An eco-friendly garden isn't just a space for plants, it's a space for life. When you start to see your garden as a small ecosystem, everything begins to change. It's no longer just about how it looks, but about how it functions and who it supports. One simple way to encourage more life into your garden is by adding a small water source, like a bird bath. Even a shallow dish of water can make a big difference, giving birds and insects a place to drink and cool off. You can also install something like a bee hotel, or even leave a small corner of your garden a little wild and untouched. That natural space can become a safe shelter for insects and small creatures that are essential to your garden's health. Because the truth is, birds, insects, and even the smallest animals all play important roles. They help control pests, pollinate plants, and keep everything in balance. The more biodiversity you create, the stronger and healthier your garden becomes over time. Instead of fighting nature, you're working with it, and that's what makes a garden truly sustainable. Transforming your garden into an eco-friendly space doesn't happen overnight. But every small step makes a difference. Start simple, reuse, compost, save water, and build from there. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves gardening. And tell me in the comments, what's the first eco-friendly change you're going to make? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.